Thank you for joining the GFSN Team Report podcast. We don't have to say future anymore. We got current All Southland Conference wide receiver Ben Ratzlaff. He was top 10 in every single important receiving category in the country.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us, man, giving your expert opinion.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Now, you were at the game last night between the Houston Texans and the Denver Broncos. What were your initial thoughts on that game?
The Broncos just came strong out of the gate, and it took a second for the Texans to wake up for sure. I mean, they were struggling on offense, and it seemed like the Denver defense kind of found a groove, was getting stops early, had the fumble recovery for a touchdown, and Kareem Jackson, he had a big day. He was all over the field making plays. So their defense really flew around on Saturday, made some plays. Texans tried to come back a little bit late, but I think it was too much at that point. They had gotten too far behind pretty early.
And from your level, to what you saw the Denver defense and the speed of the Denver defense, what's the difference?
They were just flying around everywhere to the ball. Multiple guys on ball carriers at all times, making plays on balls in the air. D-line getting pressure on the quarterback. So they were able to make a lot of plays. Get some stops. Consecutive stops early. Get the Texans offense in a hole, and didn't let them get going until it was too late. So yeah, they were playing well. They played well yesterday.
And your position as wide receiver, you were looking at Vernon Hargreaves.
Mm-hmm.
How did he look out there yesterday for the Texans?
He didn't look too bad. The Texans defense as a whole did not play too well. They ended up getting an interception late, but they got punched in the mouth pretty early. They were able to. The Denver offense was able to do pretty much anything it wanted. Drew Lock was able to make some plays, find open receivers. So, that Texans defense didn't live up to what they did the week before against the Patriots.
Yeah, one thing interesting, watching you guys throughout the year, and then your quarterback as well. He was in top 10 in major categories. What's his name? His name is Ben too, right?
Bailey.
Yeah. Bailey Zapp.
Yeah.
He was in the top 10. And he had a little bit of swagger to him. It's something that'll be important to us moving forward. What was the swagger and the body language between Deshaun Watson, and Drew Lock?
The usual swagger that the Texans offense had, it just wasn't there on Saturday, at least early. When you're not making plays, you're not able to get things going. You're going 3 and out. You don't really get a rhythm. You don't really have that confidence flowing yet. You're just sort of frustrated, and you could tell that they were frustrated. Whereas, Denver's offense was able to move the ball down the field. They were in rhythm. They were, playing as a team. So, they came out yesterday and they really played well, and they played confident. They played like they're a top team in the AFC.
So, no, they're not. They came in, as an underdog. They were 4-8. They're 5-8.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're known for a tough defense. So during the season, we talked to you guys about leadership, and you got a guy like Von Miller, who's just a monster, and he will get in your face.
Yeah,
he will beat you up in the locker room if you're not ready to play. So even though they're having a down season, you knew their defense was ready to play.
Yeah,
that hit where I forgot the receiver's name for Houston, who's really good. Hopkins was going over the middle.
Yeah.
That route, and then he got hit.
Yeah, he
And
took
how did he react, and how did he play the rest of the game? After that,
I definitely know the feeling. That's not fun at all.
right,
When you're about to catch the ball and some guy you don't see comes and hits you right in the ribs, I'm sure it knocked the air out of him.
right.
But overall, I think he played a pretty good game. He was matched up against some tough corners with Chris Harris from the Broncos.
So what's the attitude? It's like, whatever, man, hit me again. I'm ready to go. You don't get alligator arms after getting hit like that.
Sorry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. So after a hit like that,
Mm.
do you say, come on, man, hit me again like that? I can take harder than that. I can take harder than hit like that. And then you don't come back with alligator arms.
Yeah, no doubt. Those hits, they hurt you, and they make you try to protect yourself a little bit more, try to be a little bit more aware of who's around you. But it's football, so it happens,
Yeah. So what do you think about my theory that in games like that, O'Brien kind of held off a package or two? And I want you to explain, because I have it half right. You're the inside man. You're the football player. We watch you play. Mm-hmm. So the way I look at it, is it true you have a series of plays, and those series of plays turned into a package? Mm-hmm. You have different packages. How does that work?
Yeah, so you have different personnel groups for different plays. Of course there's goal line plays, there's red zone plays, there's open field plays you run from certain hashes, plays you run with certain personnel in. So there's definitely, I'm sure, some stuff that he held back for divisional games or playoff games, games against tougher opponents. But I'm sure for the most part they had a good game plan going in. They knew what they were going to do. They just
they had enough to win. They just didn't execute early, or maybe threw a couple of wrinkles at them they hadn't seen too.
Yeah, they got jumped on early, and that can really affect the team and affect that whole outcome of a game. So.
Right on. So, moving forward, how do you think they're going to bounce back next week? They play. Let me see here. I know they played for the last 2 out of 3 weeks. They played Tennessee, which is a division opponent, and in the division, especially in the NFL, these games count as 2. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a big game. 10-8 game for us here on the West Coast. It's funny. Some people even live on the West Coast. Get a big advantage of living on the West Coast is that you wake up and at 10 a.m. you got football, and that's
always nice.
Game. Yeah, big game for the division. You're gonna have a hot quarterback in Tannehill. Mm-hmm. He's a hot quarterback, and also his wife is rated as the top 5 as far as appearance for women. Sports players' wife, and they always show her shooting off guns. So Tannehill, hot team. They put 40 on the Oakland Raiders yesterday against the Texans. You're going to see a totally different offense, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure they'll come more prepared for a divisional game as the playoffs are coming up. They want to look to extend their lead in the division. And, hopefully they're able to do that, get a few wins going to the playoffs on a high note and ready to roll against some tough AFC teams like the Ravens and the Patriots.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge. They already beat the Patriots. Mm. They actually go to a team that I covered. I'm familiar with, Tampa Bay. Mm. The game before, and then they finish, I believe. Let me make sure. Yeah, they finish with on December 29th. We're going to finish with the Texans. Mm. So are you going to make that last game? You were there and live in person for us, which is awesome. Are you going to make that last game, maybe?
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I was able to get tickets through a friend, so hopefully I'm able to show up to another game this year. Hopefully see a better outcome for them.
Yeah. So how was the crowd? Just closing with them. How was the crowd? Was it a sellout?
Yeah, there was a lot of people there. It wasn't completely sold out, but there was a lot of people there. A lot of people tailgating. I mean, the arena or the stadium, I guess, is super nice. So it was a cool place. There was a lot of Broncos fans, so they were getting pretty loud.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Was it a home field advantage or was it kind of even?
There was more Texans fans, but there was a good amount of Broncos fans, and as their lead kind of increased, you kind of felt their presence a little bit more. Not gonna lie.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny going to stadiums, especially when I was in Tampa Bay. You would see somebody, let's say they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles,
Mhm.
and whoever was winning at halftime, they would take that jersey off. It was funny.
Yeah.
All right. So the NBA, man, I know as an athlete, you follow sports as well.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know you're following for us the Houston Rockets, but you've actually been watching the Lakers a little bit more.
Yeah, no
Let us
doubt.
know what you've been seeing in the Lakers.
They've been, I think, the best team in the NBA so far this season. Obviously, the record shows that they're 21-3. Just lost a recent game against the Mavs after I think a 10-game win streak or 11 games.
Right.
But they've been doing really good. They dropped opening night to the Clippers and then also to the Raptors. But other than that, they've been solid. They've been beating playoff teams in the West, like the Nuggets, the Jazz. So, I mean, AD just had 50 last night. So they've been him and LeBron are looking pretty in sync so far.
So what are your thoughts on what AD said as far as him wanting to be the top defensive player in the league, and then number two, he wanted to make sure the Lakers didn't lose 2 games in a row?
Yeah, I think a big thing for him now is proving that he can win. He's proven in his time in New Orleans that he can be a superstar, that he can dominate games. But now it's time to prove that what he can bring to the table can help a team win. He can help lead a team through the playoffs. So I think he's been proving that so far this year. Obviously, when you're playing with LeBron James, it's pretty big help. But I think they're a dangerous combo so far, and not a lot of people look like they've had an answer.
Yeah, and you're an athlete. Basically, you're a professional athlete with as much time you put into it, and the level you're at, top 10 in every receiving category in the country. People don't understand what the significance of that and the magnitude of what you've accomplished. Houston, 15-7, they're doing their thing. When they play a team like AD, you would, and I'm, thinking of basketball 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But watching for the last 30 years, you would say, my high school buddies that played basketball would say, "Oh, we need to run them."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Get a real fast pace and make AD go up and down the court as a big man.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Is that the way Houston would beat a Lakers? Get old ass LeBron James, which he's old for NBA years. He's not old for us, but get him running up and down the court and running them, man, with breastwork.
I don't know if that's the tactic they want to go with how much they asked James Harden and Russell Westbrook to do. They might end up tiring themselves out. And as far as Anthony Davis goes, I like him in a matchup versus Capella every time.
Yeah,
and
Capella's a great athlete.
Yeah, no doubt. I just don't think he can hang with AD. I think he's proven this year that he's probably the best big man in the league. Probably close between him and Embiid, but he's been dominant so far. And obviously, their role players have stepped up and been big so far this year. Rondo's been big. Dwight Howard. They've all come back and made a impact on the team.
Yeah, Rondo's old too, but I was watching the game the other night, and in crunch time, they went to Rondo, first option in the offense.
Yeah, he's made some big buckets for him this year, no doubt.
And he's won a title. He won a title with the Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the only way Houston can probably compete with the Lakers is if they got Siakam from the Raptors.
Yeah, I think they need more help on the defensive end. PJ Tucker's really good for what he does, but I think they need one more guy to really compete with them.
Yeah.
But we'll see as the year goes on. A lot of things change. So.
Yeah. And something interesting to me that we'll close with is Fred VanVleet.
Mm.
He was a low-rated star out of high school. The only major school, maybe they're not even major, but the only like group of 5 type of school that recruited him was Wichita State. He takes them to a Final Four. And then come draft time, he wasn't even drafted.
Yeah.
He had to go to a tryout camp, and I believe he got cut at the tryout camp, and he showed up the next day anyways.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, man, you got cut. What are you doing here? He's like, oh, let me use the facilities, man, for my, go to Europe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow he gets on there. Next thing you know, he's finals MVP.
Yeah, he was a big help for their team this last year, and he's proven, he's got what it takes to be one of the better guards in the league. He shoots the ball at a great rate, plays really good defense, played really well on Steph Curry in the finals. So, he's been great, and it's just a testament that if you can play, they'll find you. So
if you can play, they'll find you, man, and they will find Ben Ratzlaff.
Yeah,
we'll make sure they do, man.
No
Top
doubt.
10 in every single receiving category, all Southland Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to hunt down those reporters to vote for All-American FCS and get him All-American FCS. Ben Ratzlaff, thank you for joining us, man. Look forward to next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I don't know.